Right, well, it's a Sunday and we are recording
On a Sunday?
on the day. Yeah, on the day this will be out.
So organised.
We are so organised. We haven't had to randomly look after dogs and things.
Yeah, we haven't changed all our plans around. That's fine.
No.
It's all good.
Oh, well, how are you anyway? You sound awake.
I'm so sleepy. Yeah, going to Oxford and then not getting in until nearly 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Not the best idea in the world.
Worth it though, I suppose?
Yeah, no, it was good because it was like the last show of my friend's professional tour. The first professional tour he's done since he's graduated, so...
Oh, okay.
It was a very good show. It's just so far away.
Well, you were in the old Greece when he was here, I think. Was that what you were saying?
Yes, yeah. I would have
Did
seen...
you go on holiday? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it feels like I haven't been.
It's because you're back and working.
Yeah. It's only been 2 weeks. I'm like, already counting down the weeks for the next one, which thankfully is only a few weeks away.
Good point. Well, I'm now going to look at my calendar. Let's have a quick look.
I was going to say, you go off on a jolly soon, don't you?
1, 2... Yeah, well, the day of the next podcast release is going to be when we're filming our Mario Kart Through the Years.
Dun, dun, dun!
And yeah, the well-hyped up
Yeah.
coming soon Mario Kart series, which I hope you're all going to watch.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be mad at you, aren't I?
Oh yeah, you're supposed to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
Grr.
There you go, it's that done. That is one thing I've been thinking of. We've been doing these very much tongue-in-cheek fun videos, and then when it gets to the recording, it'll be like, hello everyone, we're all happy.
Hi, we're here doing a joint video thing. Yeah.
Yes, we're all having lots of fun. We're not punching each other or being angry.
No, or sticking pins in chairs.
No, exactly. Yeah. I did have the idea of maybe doing one little episode of that as a bonus where we were both, in that sort of persona, but I just thought, I don't think I could keep that up, to be honest, for 15 minutes of a Grand Prix or whatever we're doing. I think I'd be laughing too much.
Yeah.
But if people want to see it, do let us know. Maybe we'll incorporate that.
If you want to see us actually angry with each other.
Exactly. Mario Kart is the perfect game for that. Just give us any blue shells.
Not in the first one.
Oh no, not in the first one.
No blue shells in that first one.
No. Which, may I say, is one of the most pointless weapons ever.
What, blue shell?
Yeah, to receive and to get hit. But if you're 6th and you get a blue shell, you're like, oh great, I can knock out 1st. Why do I want that?
Well, it's not just 1st though, is it? Because it knocks out 5th and 4th and 3rd. So if you're quite close to them, the others are just collateral damage.
Yeah, I mean, the one on the Wii, it flies, and then it hits first. And I always thought, as a person sometimes being in 5th and 6th, because it happens, like getting a blue shell and then it fires off and hits first, and I'm like, well, great, how does that help me right now?
Does it only hit first on that game, then?
I believe so.
Oh, because, the N64 one, correct me if I'm wrong here, people, but I'm pretty sure that hits all the people.
Yeah.
Because it flies like a normal
so.
Shell. Like, not with wings flying, but it kind of fires across the floor like a normal shell. If you are in 6th, it will hit 5th, go through them and hit 4th, go through them and carry on till it gets to 1st place.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it did.
Yeah, I believe it may well do. I just think the Wii's different. And
I've got no idea what it does in Double Dash, or even if it's in Double Dash. I've only owned that game for well over sort of 6-7 years and barely played it.
Good point, yeah. I don't actually know. I haven't played that since I was a wee boy in primary school.
A GameCube boy.
Yeah.
Hey!
Wee.
And I know it's not in the first one, and the first one's the best one, so...
The SNES one.
Yeah, the best one.
Is that without question?
Definitively the best one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's there are so many weapons. It's like in the Switch one, getting a coin as a weapon. I'm like, oh, go away.
Oh yeah, you don't get that in the earlier ones, I don't think.
No, but at least you get to choose 2 weapons at once.
Oh, do you? What, on the Switch?
Yeah, you
I
can
know
have like
you
a
sometimes do on some of the newer ones if there's a double question mark.
yeah, because it's like you can have one, and then you can get another one for like backup for when you use that one sort of thing. It's in storage.
Mm.
It's good. It's helpful.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Watch
It
us
will be
now
fun.
in the whole series, not know what we're doing, be really bad, and finish 8th and 7th
Yeah,
in every
none of us
single
will
race.
win.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And then we'll get partners in for something, and they'll make us look stupid.
Yeah, basically.
Yep. That's about right.
Cool.
Oh well.
After all this hype.
Yes. After all this hype, we won't be that good. But yeah, no, anyway, Tulip, yes. The next podcast is on day of recording, so that'll be good. And then I'm off for a week. So episode 1 quite possibly will be around the time I'm coming back.
Episode 1? What, of the thingy? Of the Mario? Maybe.
Maybe.
But the first one will be on my channel anyway, so you haven't got to worry about that.
So I should just about be fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
But look forward to it, people. It is genuinely going to be fun. We've been
look
planning
forward
this
to it. We demand you to look forward to it.
We command you.
Yeah.
As
Look
kings
forward.
of... Well, nothing really. Sod all. We command you.
As kings of 2 tiny YouTube channels, we demand you to enjoy it.
Exactly. Oh, well. Right, yeah. Did you want to kick off today, Mr. British guy? I was going to say Mr. Sir. That didn't make sense.
Mr. Sir. Sir, Mr. Yes,
Sir,
okay.
Mr.
If I may, while you've
go for
thrown
it,
that my way.
Yeah. Neither of us have any idea what we're going to talk about today, so this is actually going to be quite fun.
Oh yeah, this is going. Yeah, normally we kind of sort of prep each other a bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the kind of we haven't picked the same thing just on the wings of chance.
I hope not.
No. Mine is... I was going to do a kind of a full video on these games because they were quite fun, but then I looked at my schedule and realised that I don't have time for that, so I thought I'd chat about them with you today.
Fair enough.
What I might do is do a proper video on 1 or 2 of them later on, because they're all demos, what I'm going to be talking about, and they're all from Kairosoft.
Right,
Kairosoft, Kairo Soft, and they're all kind of. There's about 8 of them, and I downloaded them and kind of played about with them a bit on holiday, like quickly in between, like getting ready to go out for dinner, or like when we were on the plane coming home, things like that. And they're kind of little sort of adventure demo things based upon various different things. So there's one like where you're running a restaurant and you've got that one kind of plays almost like Overcooked, where you've got to be cooking all the foods and serving all the customers, but it's kind of less hands-on than that. It's more sort of managerial, if you like. It's sort of planning the restaurant, planning the menu, levelling up your cooks and staff to do sort of better meals and things like that. And there's
like Football Manager meets Theme Hospital.
kind of, well, you say football, there is a football one.
Oh, okay.
As well. And not only do you have to kind of, in like a Football Manager, obviously buy and sell players and plan your squad and things, but in this game you even have to kind of plan their training schedules and what tournaments you're going to be playing in and things. And all the demos that they have, they're sort of on a limited time, so there's in-game months and years, and each one you play for, depending on what it is, sort of 2 years of in-game time. So everything is available to you that would be available to you in the actual game. But then once you get to the timeout thing, it basically says, why don't you buy the actual full thing of the game?
And that's when you go, nah, I'm alright.
Well, there's a couple that have actually piqued my interest, because I played the football. I found the football one first and was like, oh, this is quite good. And then they actually advertise themselves and say, if you do a search for us, this is all on the Switch, by the way.
Right, okay.
Hence me being able to play it a little bit while I was on holiday. the Switch that actually does switch.
Yeah, that
That one. Another topic for another day.
Switch.
They sort of advertise themselves at the end and they're like, if you enjoyed this one, why don't you kind of search for us on the eStore and find all the other ones? So I did. There's a couple of town-based ones where you kind of having to almost SimCity style build towns, and random people sort of turn up and work there and live there and generate money for your town. But my absolute favourite one is probably the best one, and it makes sense as to why it's the best one, because it was made by a game development company. It's a game development story mode.
Oh, right.
You start off in what seems like kind of the late 80s with like really basic consoles that you can buy licenses for. You then hire like programmers and artists and sound engineers and have them working on and developing various different games from different genres.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds fairly interesting.
It is pretty cool, to be honest. That was, I think, the second or third one. I think I played the football one, then the restaurant one, and then this one. And I played this one a good few times, actually, because obviously the in-game time is quite limited. You kind of get a taste for it and it runs out of time, annoyingly. But yeah, and every now and then they'll release sort of new consoles that you can buy licenses for, so you kind of want to make sure that you've got enough money to buy the licenses for them so that you're able to build games for them, because if you keep building games on the older systems, you don't sell as many copies, and the idea is to get a best-selling game, basically, behind it, because that then generates a lot more hype for people knowing your company. And obviously the more people that know your company, the easier it is for you to be selling games to begin with.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I suppose that's going to be the most accurate game you'll ever play in your life, if it's...
Well, yeah, it's made by the guys that would actually make it. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's called Game Dev Story Mode.
Game Dev Story Mode?
Yeah.
I'm going to genuinely write that down on a post-it note, which I have conveniently next to me.
Yeah, there is... Yeah, I'm trying to... How much is it, actually? I don't think I've got access to it. I think it's about, roughly, on the eStore, at least when I last looked, unless it's now on an offer, about £8.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
So it's not stupidly expensive. But the only thing that's a bit annoying that I thought they would do, but they don't, is do like a bundle pack for all of these games.
Yeah.
Because there's about 8 different demos.
Right, okay.
And there's a couple of their games... Yeah, there's a couple of their games that there's no demos for.
Oh, okay.
But they do exist. I think there's about 12 games in total, but they don't do a bundle for all of them for like £30 or £40 or whatever. So if you bought each individual one, it would be quite pricey. You're looking at kind of close to £100.
Yeah. That sounds quite annoying.
Yeah, but to be honest, some of them are like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So that was kind of my thing to bring. I think the best thing, or one of the best things in there, was some of they do like press release type things for the new consoles that are coming out.
Yeah.
So you get the Senga, not the Sega, the Senga. What was it called instead of a Genesis? I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, it was basically a mock version of that, and then you get the iTendo, or Intendo, I think it was called. You get the Game Kid.
The Game Kid.
The Game Kid. Yeah, gotta love.
That's great.
Getting a license for the Game Kid. So yeah, it's very kind of tongue in cheek.
Game Kid. Sorry.
Yeah, very ridiculous, but yeah, really, really good fun. And the kind of better members of staff you've got to do sort of better programming or better music or whatever, kind of each individual section of a game you get points for over the development time. And the idea is to score as high as possible in those various different sections, And then you even get the bug killing phase as well, because bugs
Really?
just kind of arrive in the game as you're playing, and you can do a Bethesda and just release it full of bugs if you like to get it out quicker. You actually can.
Okay.
They don't call it doing a Bethesda. That's just me. Or you can, actually develop a game properly and get rid of all of those. But obviously that takes more time to do.
I can only imagine that takes more time.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest. It's kind of a basic tongue-in-cheek way of looking at game development, but kind of with enough elements of, oh, okay, that's actually a thing. That's quite cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be... That does sound fairly interesting. You said Game Dev Story Mode has a demo?
Yeah, that one's definitely got a demo, yes, because I've played it about 4 times.
Okay. Has it got easier each time?
A little bit. I've kind of been able to pre-plan what I spend money on.
Right, okay.
Knowing what's coming up. So
Okay.
I guess that's the same with any game, though. If you know what's coming up, you pre-plan for it, regardless of what kind of game it is. You kind of think, I'm not going to do this yet because I know that in another level's time or another section's time this happens, so I'll wait until then.
Yeah.
Or I'll do this now because that preps me for what happens later on. So
Yeah. Right, okay then. Well, it does sound interesting. I'm probably going to give that a go, actually.
yeah. I think that one of the main reasons why that's kind of more favourable for me as well, not just the content, because the restaurant one was pretty good as well, to be honest, and the football one were probably the 3 best ones. They give you the most control as to how you can kind of generate and spend money. The other ones are a bit more kind of, you have to leave it to the fates of the game to just do things for you, and you're kind of almost watching a simulator.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different levels of involvement, and they don't involve you as much.
Okay.
Like there's a school one where you're running a private school, and the idea is to get as many pupils as possible. And it's a bit like, well, you do a couple of things at the beginning because the game tells you, and then you kind of sit and watch.
Yeah.
And don't really do much.
Oh, right.
So, but yeah.
So you get so you get some control and...
Yeah, you get a lot more control over what your choices are on these sorts of things, and like the football one with the training and buying and selling players, and what tournaments you're going to enter yourself into as a kind of amateur non-league team.
Oh, okay.
To become like one of the best teams in the country. They kind of give you a lot more control.
Do they give you money to spend? On players?
Well, what in-game money or?
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of
okay.
money.
I wonder what that's like.
What, having money to buy players? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Newcastle fan. I have absolutely no idea what that is like.
Well, you're talking to an Arsenal fan. We don't have much idea of it either.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I would absolutely give that a go when I have a moment.
Kairosoft they all are. So, I mean, different people are going to have different preferences. Some people might really like the town buildy ones. They were okay, but as I say, some of them just have less involvement for you, and if you can't really dictate how and when you're spending money and making money, it kind of defeats the point of the game from my perspective anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I shall probably be giving it a go at some point this week, actually. I'll at least download some demos.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's enough of the demos to try them out, and delete the ones you don't like, really.
Yeah. Right, well, I shall give that a go. Just
right.
as long as, they're not too easy.
No, there's enough kind of involvement for you to screw it up.
Yeah, oh good, that's alright. Because I found recently that games are, I believe, getting easier.
Oh, is this a segue, sir?
It could well be.
Ah.
Segue.
What's that coming over the hill? Is it a Segway?
Yeah. And I don't just mean one of the stupid things on wheels that you walk around with a... No, I mean an actual Segway into the next section. Yeah, this is something I've been thinking just for a while, and I don't know whether games are getting easier or people in the world are becoming better at games because there's so many games. If that makes any sense.
Definitely the first one.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for listening, everybody. Yeah, no, I'm going to use... obviously, the first example I'll use is the Pokemon games. I will use that as an example. Because at generation, I'm going to say around 5, that's when I found the games to be most difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Elite Four was a challenge, the Dragon Master was ridiculous, and spoiler alert, if you're going to play a Gen 5 game, there you go, there's your chance. I'm going to talk about it now. In the Elite Four, you take on the Elite Four, and then when you go to take on the champion, the evil team of that region takes over the Elite Four, basically, and the Pokemon League. Mm-hmm. And a castle arises from the ground, and the evil leader basically defeats the champion, and then you have to beat all of the evil team, and then get to the evil team leader, and beat him. And he's got a legendary. That's a challenge in a game.
Yeah.
Having to beat the Elite Four, and then you're thinking one battle away, and then all of a sudden you have to beat an entire castle of evil people, as well as a legendary at the end.
Who are well developed, they're not just cannon fodder.
Yeah, that's a challenge. Mm. However, going into Generation 6 and 7, firstly, they introduced an item called the Experience Share, which they've always had. However, this time it's a key item, and you can turn it on or off, and it works similar to what it does in Let's Go, which means if you win a battle, all of your Pokemon get experience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Rather than Generations 1 to 5, having to literally, if you want to train like a Magikarp, for example, having to send it out first
and then
swap. Yeah, they made it easier to do that, which is fine. However, what they had was an item that Pokemon could hold, so only that Pokemon got experience from the battle, as well as the one in battle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Then they made it a key item, so everyone gets experience. Or if you turn that key item off, no one gets experience except the one in battle, which is fine. However, the games are made now so that you're meant to have the experience share on, because if you don't have it on, it just gets ridiculous by about 4 gyms in, and you're just like, right, well, 4 of my Pokemon are level 20, and the next gym is level 35. I've got 2 that could do it. It's that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. If these two die, then I've got nothing to fight with, so I've got to level up absolutely everything, and then it's far too easy, because even Pokemon I never use, that I can just kind of whip out for this one gym because of, like, elemental weaknesses or whatever.
Yeah.
It can then wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could get a Magikarp at the start of a Generation 6 game, X or Y maybe, and by the time I get to the second or even third gym, it's a Gyarados level 24, and I haven't even used it,
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's alright if you're only doing it to, like, complete a Pokedex. It's fine, because then everyone evolves quickly. But yeah, that was an example of games, in my opinion, getting too easy. Mm. It's kind of spreading to other places, kind of. I mean, for example, when games are remastered and they get a chance to readjust the controls, I've found that they're becoming, with controllers getting a lot just better, basically, better responses, it's then making games easier. But then I think to myself, like, oh, when I was playing Crash Bandicoot as a 10-year-old, I was really good. When I play it now on exactly the same console, with exactly the same controllers, I'm terrible. So am I just getting worse?
Are you meaning the old PS1 version as opposed to the remake one?
Exactly. Yes, I am, yeah. So there's an argument for that. It's like, I suppose, it's not that games are getting easier, it's just that the physical technology is getting better and more responsive.
Yeah, you now would be used to a PlayStation 4 controller as opposed to a PlayStation 1 controller. And although they are basically the same, they've been mapped out the same way. Yeah, as you say, the actual technology inside there's sort of a 15-year gap.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a three-way argument now. It's more like, are games getting easier? Is technology getting better and more responsive, or are people getting better at games, or a mix of some or all of those?
I don't think people are getting better at games, because I don't think they have to.
Okay.
I do think the easier. Right, I do think the easier thing is definitely a thing. I only really need to refer to one game, and that's Final Fantasy 15. It's virtually impossible to die in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the latest one?
Yeah, that's the one that came out a couple of years ago. It's nearly impossible to die in that game, even just on normal version.
However, you go back to Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Much more of a challenge.
Much more, yeah. There's much more kind of super bosses as well, which have different stages. And you kill one, and you go, cool, I've done it. And then immediately it transforms into a stronger version of itself. And there's no kind of saving in between. It's like, nope, you're straight into the next one. And they've kind of phased that sort of thing out. I mean, if you even play that on easiest mode, you actually can't die. Yeah. Like, when you die, you immediately get revived.
Oh, right, okay.
It's actually physically impossible to die.
That's quite annoying. There's a few games like that now, though, wasn't there? Like, if you die, you don't go back a couple of, I'm going to say stages. I know not every game is, you know what I mean? Like, or phases, stages, whatever you want to call it. There's still games that are like, if you die, you can carry on from just about this point.
Yeah, some implemented it quite well in terms of like auto-saving when you get into new sections. So that if you spend sort of 10 or 15 minutes in that section and then you end up dying, you've basically got to replay that entire section. I don't mind that so much, but the ones that basically boot you straight back in pretty much where you were when you died, there's no need to be skillful then.
Yeah.
There's no need to learn kind of any skill set or any kind of the mechanics to a certain level, because you're just going to pop back where you were anyway.
Exactly. I mean, with a game like Breath of the Wild, for example, if you know how to not die, if that makes sense, if you've learned and you've got the skills and you've actually got the experience and everything, like if you've got a fairy in your pocket, when you die, it will give you 4 hearts back and you won't die. You know, you can learn that. So that game gives you a way to make it easier for yourself.
That's pretty brutal at the beginning, though, that game.
Oh, absolutely brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it's an open world game, and you're supposed to go right out of your resurrection shrine and talk to the old guy. But if you go left, there's a camp of 3 bad guys, and all you've got is a tree branch. You know, it's
and you've got no idea, really, what any of the main mechanics are. You've got no idea what their attacks are going to be. You've got, 2 or 3 hearts?
Yeah, 3, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. A game like that, you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want.
Yeah, but the good thing is, to make it that much easier, you've actually got to invest the time.
Yeah, exactly. You've actually got to learn about the game and really put the effort in.
It doesn't just give it to you. You can't just unlock, now it's in super easy mode where you get all decent weapons and nothing really hurts you, and, oh look, here's a marker for all of everything to collect all the good things. You've actually got to go out and not grind, because that sounds like it's a kind of a hardship, but you've actually got to invest the time to be rewarded.
It's like Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. It has an assist mode, which basically means you can carry on as normal. It will have an arrow telling you where to go next at all times, pretty much. But if you stand, like, say you get 3 little lives, if that makes sense, like little bits of health or whatever. If you stand still for long enough, it will just revive your health. It will just go, right, 2.
Oh, yeah, health regen is evil anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's some specific levels that have no, like, health recovery, and that's the point. So you're supposed to go through and survive.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge. However, if you've got it on assist mode, all you need to do is walk around a corner, stand still for 5 seconds, and you've got full health. So that's a choice. That's not like an actual standard. That's not like, this is the way you do it. So
health regen,
challenge,
I've never enjoyed anyway. That kind of ruined Metal Gear Solid 5 for me, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because as long as you just take cover for a little while, he then goes, I'm okay again now. You've literally just been riddled with bullets. And in any other versions of that series, you'd be like 1 shot away from death. Oh dear, I don't have any kind of curative items at all. Right, I've got to be really clever as to how I get out of this now.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind they're bearing down on you, and the idea is to not get caught in a firefight, because it's a stealth game and there's more of them than there are of you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, it's okay. If you hide here for 5 seconds, you'll then be full health again. You can just go out and blast them.
Yeah, which wouldn't happen in real life. I know it's not real, or set in a real life world sort of thing.
Mm.
However, try and get a little bit of realism.
Well, especially when older games in the series had that and you've removed it.
Oh, right. Okay.
You can kind of forgive it a little bit more if it's never been there and that's a kind of part of the series. And you're like, okay, well, that just comes as the territory with these games. But when it's a game that used to have that and they go, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to do it this way because all the other games are doing it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I'm not playing those games for a reason. I'm playing your game because it's different. Don't make it the same as everybody else's game.
Don't be a spanner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was basically all I had to say. Really, was are games getting easier? Because I think they are, but only certain factions or certain franchises. But generally, I think a lot more games are getting easier these days.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm not overly a fan of that, to be honest.
No, it's a pain where you're having to kind of trying to intentionally handicap yourself in order to make a game more fun to play, to kind of artificially add challenge back in by thinking, oh, I'm going to do this level by not doing this, or I'm going to make sure that I don't collect this thing just to make it harder for myself, or I'm going to play it in such a way that I intentionally disadvantage myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand a game like, well, a franchise like Pokemon, where it's aimed at adults and children, needs to have elements of being easy. I get that. However, there is also a limit of hand-holding. You need to sometimes just be like, if you never give the youngsters a challenge, they'll never bloody learn.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense.
We had to. Late 80s, early 90s games were nice and impossible. And then you get frustrated as a child. It's character building.
Exactly. 2001, playing Pokemon Gold, you get face against Lance and he's got 3 Dragonite, and you think, oh, for God's sake.
3?
Yeah, you take out one, you think, I've done it. And then he brings another one out and you think, oh, for God's sake. And then he's got another one and you think, oh, no. That's a challenge for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, when you're literally limping over the line, that's the correct level, because it's achievable, but easily not achievable if you'd have just done a couple of things wrong.
Yes.
It's a case of you've got to get everything precise in order to limp over the line successfully.
Yes. But oh well. Maybe it's just that me and you are getting better. That's all it is. Yeah, probably not.
No, definitely not.
No,
definitely not.
I don't think I'm better.
There are so many gamers better than me.
Yes,
because they can actually spend more time with it.
Oh well. Well, that was all I had to say, really.
Yeah. Shout out to game developers. Make them more difficult.
Yes, or at least give a challenge mode or some sort of difficulty mode.
Actually, I think that is quite a good point. A lot of games do come with like almost one difficulty setting.
Yeah.
Now, certainly on a first playthrough.
Yeah, pretty much every game I've played has come. Well, I'd say pretty much. Pretty much every time I've come across a game that's got a difficulty mode, is either play the game or play the game in easy mode, and then once you complete the game you can unlock a challenge mode and you're like, no, I want that from the start.
Yeah, and I kind of tend to get bored of the game by then. Just like, I don't really want to go through all that again.
No, I don't want to go through all that again and have it be more difficult. I want it difficult from the start.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Needs a challenge mode in some games rather than an easy mode, or both, I should say.
Maybe that's something that you can employ in your game dev demo.
Yes. Is that something I can deploy?
I'm not aware of it yet, but I've only played it for a couple of in-game years, so...
Well, we'll give it a go. That's probably going to be the first one I try, so...
Yeah. It's good. Right.
Yeah. Right then, yeah. Well, we best get to editing this and getting it out for you guys.
I was going to say, yeah, because we've only got a few hours.
If you're listening to this on the actual time of release, we did this approximately 7 hours ago, so enjoy yourself. This is us from 7 hours in the past.
And if you're not listening to it, then don't enjoy yourself. Stop enjoying listening to our videos.
Stop enjoying yourself and get back to work.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. All right. Well, I shall see you around then.
Yes, you probably will. I'll probably be sitting fairly close to you the next time we.
Yeah, good point actually.
Very soon, anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Dun,
All right.
dun.
All right. Well, I shall see you around. Yes. Thank you everyone for listening.
Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye.